afternoon, sir.
Please.
Good afternoon, sir. Ma'am.
Good afternoon, Abhilash. Take a seat, please.
Thank you, sir.
A brief introduction from you.
Sir, I'm ABHILASH Sundaram. I was born and brought up in Bahadurgarh city, Haryana. And then I did my BSc Physics Honours from Hindu College, Delhi University. And then I started my civil services preparation. I secured All India Rank 421 last year, and I've been allocated Indian Trade Service. Apart from that, sir, I've also cracked Haryana Civil Services. I was ranked 37 this year. Apart from it, sir, my
So are you planning to leave and join Haryana Civil Service?
No, sir, I've already joined Indian Trade Services.
Good.
And sir, apart from that, my hobbies include strength training, teaching, and apart from that, sir, following Indian defense updates.
Right. Now, how many marks did you get in your last interview?
Sir, I received 173 marks.
Right. So, what is your motivation to give the exam again?
Sir, my motivation is primarily to join Indian administrative services.
And why so?
Sir, I believe by joining IAS, I would be directly involved in the democratic governance of the country. Moreover, sir, the work profile of the job is such which is more diversified, which is to my liking and aspirations.
But there's been a lot of criticism, and recently there was an article by a very senior ex-bureaucrat, retired bureaucrat, which the title read that the IAS has failed the nation. What would be your reaction to that?
So certainly I believe there are two sides of the coin. To have such an extreme opinion that IAS has failed the nation would be blatantly wrong, because many senior officers have done service to the nation. For example,
only senior officers?
Many officers in the different services, they have done a tremendous job. For instance, I believe, I'm not able to recall the name of the Manipur IAS who created the road in Manipur without the help of the government of Manipur. Sir, there are certain issues and lacunas which need to be solved.
Right. What does your present job entail?
Sir, Indian Trade Services primarily deals with implementation of foreign trade policy. And sir, it handles all the operation related to import and export of the nation. It also handles various operations in the capacity of development commissioners under Special Economic Zones Act. And apart from that, sir, it acts as the facilitator at various positions in DGFT.
I see from your DAF that you were involved in old age, tapping into the aging population. How do you do that?
Sir, during my college, I was enrolled in a student exchange program with National University of Singapore. So we went to Singapore, and the theme of the exchange program was tapping into the elderly population. So, sir, therein we pitched our deliverable, creating an app called Hotel Delhi, essentially hotel plus elderly, and tapping into the vast wisdom and resources that elderly population have of the Southeast Asia. Especially, essentially, these nations have a very aging population, and the tourists which come from different countries, they want to have authentic experiences.
Very good. So you flatter me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm also part of that aging population.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
So Abhilash, I'm a little intrigued by your second name.
Yes.
How did it come about?
Ma'am, there's a little story about it. My nickname at home is Shivam, and my father, inspired from the melody Satyam Shivam Sundaram, he himself plays harmonium.
Okay.
So I was named ABHILASH Sundaram.
Okay, you get it from there, because
Yes, ma'am.
I thought you're a fellow South Indian like me. But anyway, you are in the trade services. So let me just start off with a little bit of trade. What do you understand by balance of payments?
Ma'am, balance of payment is essentially a register which is kept, which handles it's a register which details all the imports, the services and goods coming in the nation and going out of the nation.
And besides the services and goods, is there anything else?
Ma'am, it has two accounts, current account and capital account. Current accounts handles balance of trade, balance of invisibles, and the capital account essentially involves all the FDI and foreign investments.
What do you think is what is the quantum of our foreign exchange reserve right now?
If I'm able to recall it correctly, it has depleted to about $625 billion.
And why do you think the Indian rupee is depreciating?
There are multiple reasons behind it. One of the reasons for the rupee hitting a historic low of 86.6 is a strong appreciation of US dollar, especially due to coming back of Donald Trump. One. And second, ma'am, has been the stagnation of Indian exports. In December 2024, the monthly exports were about $38 billion.
But do you gain when the currency is depreciated? Do you gain by way of exports or do you lose?
Ma'am, essentially, a depreciation of the currency benefits the exporters.
Benefits the exporters.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to push the exports further. You mentioned that the trade policy handles the
Yes, ma'am.
exports and imports. Do you include oil and other fuels which we import? Does it get included in your statistics when you sit in the DGFT?
Certainly, ma'am. Oils and natural gases and all these imports, they get included in the import data.
Yes, but does it cover that? Is it covered by the DGFT? I don't think so. No.
I'm not aware of that, ma'am. Yes.
The answer is no to that, because the figures which you publish in your database do not. There is a big caption saying that it does not include the.
Okay, I'll read more on that.
You have to know about that. And do you know what do we refer as Global South?
Ma'am, essentially, Global South is a term which includes all the countries, and it's an imaginary line called Brunt line. All the countries below the Brunt line are part of Global South, and essentially most of these nations are developing.
Is a Brunt line a geographical line?
No, ma'am, it's an imaginary line which was drawn by the scholar Brunt.
But is it on the globe?
Yes, ma'am, it's drawn.
All lines are imaginary.
Yes.
McMahon line there is nothing like somebody drew it. It's drawn on the paper only, right?
So, ma'am, all the nations under the Brunt line, south of Brunt line, are included in the Global South, mostly developing and least developing countries such as India.
I think you should read a little bit more about Global South. It's not exactly a line or anything. It's basically countries which have common agenda, developing and underdeveloped countries which have a common agenda to deal with countries, the other countries of this thing. So they are sort of a collective voice, not a formal grouping. I'll pass it on to my
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Abhilash, did you see or hear today's news?
Yes, sir.
What's the interesting news today?
Sir, some of the things that caught my attention were ACER's report highlighting India's astounding comeback from the since COVID-19.
Yes.
Educational comeback. Apart from that, sir, there is also a news article on Donald Trump threatening to impose tariffs on BRICS nation. That is another.
But I'm happy that Mr. Trump is inviting my Prime Minister.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, what are the likely outcomes of the meeting? What could be the agenda?
Yes. So I think the likely outcomes from this meeting would be to strengthen the economic cooperation and partnership. Since India and USA already have USA is India's largest bilateral trade partner, so it would be that. Apart from that, sir, I believe there will be certain strategic MOUs would be signed, especially in defense sector. There are talks going on that USA would be pitching F-35A to India, essentially because India does not have its AMCA program yet and does not have a 5th generation fighter jet.
You have a extracurricular activity,
Yes,
problem teaching geography to high school students.
Yes, sir.
Are there any difficulties in doing that? What are the issues which get connected with it?
Sir, I believe some of the issues that I faced.
One is teaching geography, second is teaching to high school students.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Tell me.
Sir, my experience as teacher for about 1.5 years with high school students, some of the challenges that I felt was one is to inspire and ignite the curiosity amongst the high school students. So that was one. And using technologies, especially smart boards, presentation, creating presentations for students for an active engagement. Apart from that, having that back and forth engagement in the class, which is not just one-sided but a two-sided collaboration between students and teachers.
So are you doing it on a private basis, or you are going to some school or somewhere to do that?
Sir, it happened essentially during 2020. I went to a school to teach high school students for about 1.5 years.
For about
1.5 years, sir.
1.5 year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So were you paid for that job?
No, sir, it was essentially pro bono because I was learning and that was my payment.
Okay.
My optional is also geography.
So good that they permitted it, but many schools don't permit outsiders to come and teach like that.
Our school was my alma mater. As
Oh,
well.
that's why. That's excellent. So that's a good thing. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Abhilash.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. What's your optional?
Geography, sir.
Geography. No? Okay.
So,
Although you studied
geography-
physics.
Sorry?
Although you studied physics.
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
from geography, I'll ask you a question. Why is it that when we have winters in India, there is summer in Australia and vice versa?
Sir, it's essentially because of the axial tilt of the Earth around its rotation. So there is a northward movement of sun because of that axial tilt.
Northward movement of sun.
Apparent northward movement of the sun because of the tilt. Sir.
What happens? Why it becomes summer and winter in Australia? Why?
Sir, if I could depict that, I think that
No,
would
no.
make it easier.
Please say.
So
We will understand.
Yes, sir. So because of the axial tilt, the essentially the Earth is tilted towards one of the sides to about 23.5 degrees. Yes, sir. Sir, so because of the tilt, there are seasonal differences in northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So when Earth is on one of the sides of the elliptical orbit, there is more of the sun falling in one of the hemispheres. And there is concentration of
It's a
insolation.
very long answer. The short and precise answer is during summer, in India, the sun rays falls perpendicular
Right, sir.
on the Tropic of Cancer
Yes, sir.
and vice versa.
Right, sir.
And when it is summer in Australia, the sun rays come at an angle at the Tropic of Cancer. That's the reason. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that information.
Now you are physics honors.
Yes, sir.
I also did physics honors, so I'm tempted to ask you something on physics.
Sir.
So, fission and fusion, where does this huge amount of energy come from?
So essentially, it happens. Fission and fusion both are nuclear reactions. Fusion entails joining together of two smaller nuclei, and fission entails breaking down. Fission entails breaking down of the larger unstable nuclei into two daughter nuclei. So because of this breakdown of the nuclear force which is holding together the nucleus, that energy gets converted into that nuclear force gets converted into energy, and this is
No.
sir. And there is also the E is equal to mc square as was given by Einstein.
So?
Yes, sir. The mass, the change in mass gets converted into energy.
That's the answer.
Yes, sir.
On your first answer, I would have failed you.
Sir.
Atom A breaks into B and C.
Yes, sir.
The sum of B and C is less than that of A.
Yes, sir.
The differential in mass, this is what gets converted into energy.
Yes, sir.
And what happens in fusion?
So fusion essentially entails two separate atoms, lighter atoms, getting fused together into a larger atom. And during this process, there is also a differential mass, and that gets converted into energy.
What is cold fusion?
Sir, while I'm not aware of the exact details, cold fusion, I think if you may allow me to state what I remember from vaguely.
All right, carry on.
So cold fusion essentially uses lasers instead of creating high pressure.
Forget it.
Okay, sir.
Now, last question. What is quantum mechanics?
Sir.
What is it all about? Why is everyone so excited about
Yes, sir.
quantum mechanics? A lot of us, our children, they go and study quantum science, computer science.
Yes, sir. So quantum mechanics is the branch of physics that deals with the behavior of material at the quantum scale at essentially femtometers, that is about 10 to the power minus 15 meters. And their behavior, for example, this quantum mechanics is the principles of quantum mechanics, essentially principle of superposition and principle of entanglement, have been used in the field of quantum computing, and there has been a large.
Slow.
Sir.
In classical mechanics, you know how the two particles will react and what will be the end result.
Yes, sir.
In quantum mechanics, you don't.
Yes.
And since there are millions and billions of these, so the mechanics that tells you broadly how the system will behave is what quantum mechanics is all about.
Yes, sir.
All right. Composure.
Thank you, sir.
So, Abhilash,
Sir.
would you like a paper napkin?
Yes, sir.
Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Does it always happen to you?
No, sir. I think it's a little hot in the room, and I'm coming from outside. It was a little colder.
How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling fine, sir.
All
Thank you.
right. You mentioned in your DAF that you like to be updated about defense.
Sir.
So, the defense minister recently made some very important and interesting announcements. He said something about theaterization.
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
Sir, I did not follow that information particularly, while I'm aware about the theaterization of armed forces.
And so, within that context, do we have some theatres which are already active, or are they going to be formed from scratch?
So there is one already operational, that is Joint Tri-Service Command at Andaman and Nicobar. And the rest of the would be operationalized.
There's one more actually.
So there is one more, I think that is Strategic Frontier Force.
And what does that do?
Sir, it deals with the nuclear weapons of India.
That is correct. That is correct. Now, within the context of theaterization,
Sir.
there was a move that was made, and the appointment of the CDS was a very important step in that direction.
Sir.
But there is a lot of criticism about the CDS and the powers that the CDS has. Does the CDS have operational control?
Sir, CDS essentially has a recommendatory role in Ministry of Defense. That's all I can remember right now, and I'm not aware of the exact details.
Right. I mean, the answer was alluded to in the question itself. He doesn't have operational
Yes, sir.
command, and he can only build consensus
Yes.
amongst the three chiefs. Let us come to your current service, the Indian Trade Service. What I'm interested to know, Abhilash, is what is exactly the difference in the Indian Trade Service and the Indian Revenue Service? What is it that the people in trade services do that the people in Indian Revenue Services do not do?
So, Indian Trade Service essentially it is involved in the implementation of foreign trade policy and facilitating import and export from the nation. Whereas Indian Revenue Service.
But that sounds exactly like customs, no?
Yes, sir.
So what exactly is the answer to my question?
So I believe that Indian Revenue Service customs, they are involved in the imposition and collection of customs at various ports and other places.
Is that all they do?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware of the differences between ITS and IRS customs.
What is country of origin?
Sir, certificate of origin, it's essentially a certificate which tells about which country the import originated from.
It is my impression, Abhilash, that the WTO has failed in its objective.
Sir.
They wanted to create free global trade. The position as of now is it's going in the exact opposite direction. Would you not agree?
So while the current atmosphere is a little of rising protectionism, but it would be wrong, it would be wrong to assume that WTO has failed, because sir, I believe almost more than 80% of world's trade happens automatically without a lot of imports.
So what does WTO have to do with that?
So WTO has been the pioneer which has been promoting liberal trade across
Okay, tell
the
me
world.
one good thing they have done.
So WTO has one good thing. So I believe MFN status between nations, most favored nation status, it essentially promotes equality of tariffs and trades amongst nations.
Okay, you are from Bahadurgarh.
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to be a very important industrial area
Sir,
for a particular item. What is it?
so Bahadurgarh has one of in Asia's largest footwear park.
That's correct. And now coming from Bahadurgarh and spanning a little bit wider to Haryana,
Sir,
I would like to know from you what is the female literacy ratio of Haryana.
so while the literacy rate of Haryana is 75%, I'm not aware of the female literacy rate, sir.
All right. Thank you, Abhilash.
Thank you, sir.
So, Abhilash, we come to the end of our formal interaction.
Sir,
We move on to the feedback session, but prior to that, I'd like to know from you
sir.
how you think you performed.
Sir, I need to brush up on a lot of things, and lately I could not prepare, and that was reflected. For example, physics. I've not really revised physics as of yet, and I really felt I should have answered them better, and I should be more concise with my answers.
So the good news is, Abhilash, I really don't see any particular reason why you shouldn't get the IAS.
So thank you.
I find you a very polished and promising candidate.
Sir.
And you've already been through the drill, you know what it takes. All it needs for you is to take your level from 175 to a notch higher. How have you done your mains?
So pretty well this time.
But let me start with some of the items which are a little jarring. One is that your knees are splayed out like that.
Okay.
You need to sit with your knees a little closer together.
Right, sir.
And then your hands are jammed. It's a pleasant interaction. It's not an interrogation. You're not going to death row, right? So just a casual, your comfort zone is important.
Yes, sir.
Align your back to the back of the chair and then just relax. The more positive vibes you emanate, the better it is, the better the panel also feels. These are non-verbal cues. If you're anxious, tense, like that, then and you have a very winning smile, you have a very good personality.
So thank you.
Your hair needs to be combed.
Yes, sir.
Is your interview in the morning or in the evening?
It's in the afternoon.
It's in the afternoon. So be up to date,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Especially read the morning newspapers also. Sometimes a question or two might come from there. Now, a lot of candidates get the feeling that you need to answer every question.
So
That's not a good attitude at all, because we are not looking at this as a knowledge test. We are looking at it from the point of view, do you have the officer-like attributes and qualities, right? So from that viewpoint, what is the panel exactly seeing? They're seeing whether they're assessing you on a number of parameters. Integrity, so no bluffing, no guessing, no false claims, no tall claims either, right? Conceptual clarity. So questions will be asked, especially since you are in a job and you're coming from a very good place. You've got a very good job as it is. You can only rise higher.
Sir.
Think of the plight of those who are giving it for the 10th time without any job. They are parasites.
Yes.
So go in with a very positive attitude, very clear mindset.
Sir.
That I have the smarts, I have the talent, I have everything that is needed to make it to the top, and you'll do very well.
Thank you, sir.
So conceptual clarity I talked about, lucidity, basically how well you express yourself, And that is dependent on whether you can walk the tightrope between conciseness and comprehensiveness.
Right, sir.
That is an art you have to practice. And I'll give you some practical inputs on that also. Opinions have to be balanced. They cannot be extreme. Self-awareness, awareness of what is happening around in the world, right? Quick thinking. Sometimes, question is thrown at you just to see whether you get flustered. So, poise and self-confidence that should be reflected all through the interview.
So,
And analytical ability, we want to test whether you go beyond the superficial layer of news to the nitty-gritty, right? So all these are important, and as you would have understood by now, there are 4 main areas from where the questions come. DAF, your subject, work experience and current affairs. So which newspapers are you reading?
sir, I'm currently following Indian Express.
Okay, add the Hindu to the mix, but don't read the whole paper, that will be a repetitive effort, waste of time. Just go to the section which is called text and context.
Right.
Keep a pen and this notepad handy and just note down the main things, because that will give you that conceptual clarity.
Okay.
And talks of current issues also. Which TV channels are you seeing?
Sir, I'm following 2 shows essentially. One is Palki Sharma The Vantage, and the other one is Cut the Clutter by Shekhar Gupta.
Okay, add WION to this, very important, because that gives you a package every 30 minutes of what is happening in the world.
Right, sir.
So you can always catch up and get up to date on that, right? Now my practical tips would be that in the time to come, you still have about 5 weeks or so.
Yes, sir.
Take about 100 of these A4 size sheets, divide them into these 4 categories I've talked about. Think of the possible questions which can come. Note them down, then do a deep dive, get the entire input so that you're completely mastered that issue and that subject. Then condense them into 4 or 5 bullet points in order of priority.
Right, sir.
And then sit in front of a friend or sit in front of a mirror and practice. Once you undertake this, then you'll feel much more confident going into the actual interview also.
Right, sir.
As it is, you are 95% there.
Okay, sir.
Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Sir, if I may ask, Sir Ravi, sir, I didn't know the answer to that IRS customer service.
No problem, just read about it. It's okay. There is a lot of overlap actually. You'll find some details in nitty-gritty. It's all right though. Obviously, I don't think the trade service has any mandate with regards to the Customs Act to enforce these laws. And they have no revenue implications also with regards to what they do. But they must be doing a lot, because my knowledge itself is limited. They must be doing a lot of negotiations, and I'm sure they have a lot of foreign overlap. And there will be, I'm assuming, a lot of work that they are doing in intellectual property, particularly with respect to WIPO. World Intellectual Property.
Right.
That is what they'll be doing. But do look it up. You should come across as somebody who's read this.
अभिलाष, एक इशू है जो कि आपकी जानकारी में लाते हैं. यू आर ट्राइंग टू एंटर हरियाणा थ्रू आउटसाइडर कोटा. सो दिस इन केस द इशू इज रेड, नॉर्मली टाइम नहीं होता है, कोई सब रेड नहीं करता है, पर कोई नॉन ब्यूरोक्रेट बैठा होगा, पूछ लेगा तो फिर जवाब देना होगा, है. तो से दैट यस दिस इज़ व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू. उसके लिए कोई झूठ बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ठीक है ना. ये धन्यवाद.
Should I be answering that
Exactly.
there are no vacancies in the general
how it
category
is.
for inside?
कोई दिक्कत नहीं. That's a honest way of handling the matter.
Right. Okay, sir.
You are a good candidate. Nothing more to add.
Okay.
Right?
Your positives are that you smile. I don't know why you sweat, but it's okay.
Ma'am, I'll have to work on that. I was not nervous, but then I keep sweating.
No, that's okay. You keep a very pleasant demeanor, which is a big plus.
Thank you.
It's just that, just keep reading and brushing up.
Tie
a
is too
little.
short.
Okay, sir.
Can you just stand for a second? Yes, way too short. It should cover your buckle.
Okay, sir. I'll get a new tie. Thank you.